Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing well. In this video, I wanted to show you how you can fill your DS-160 form. This video would be your, step-by-step guide on how you can fill the DS-160 form for your visitor visa. So let's get started. Now you need to go to this website to start your application. Let me show you how you can do that. You can just open Google and then search DS-160. You can just open the first link which you have got and then continue. Now we have two options here. Either we can start a new application or retrieve an old application. Let me just start with the new application and then I'll show you how you can retrieve an application if you have stopped in between or a partially saved application. Now let's get started with our application. The first thing you need to select is that select a location where you will be applying the visa. So in my case, I have selected it as Canada, Toronto. Let's say you are in India, you can select it your city and the country where you are located in. Let's enter the captcha now. And here, as you can see, this is asking for a digital photo. So in order for you to submit this DS-160 form, you need to submit a digital photo of yourself, and this has to be as per the standards which are given on this website. So you can test it out. If you have an existing photo or you have a photo which you have taken, you can test the photo by uploading it here. It will give a reply if it is as per the standards. If not, it will say you that that photo you cannot use it for this purpose, and it will give you set of instructions on how you can get a standard photo as per their requirement. Now let's start our application. Here we have our basic acknowledgements which we need to agree before we can move ahead. I agree. This would be your application ID. As I have mentioned at the start of the video, this application ID would be helpful in order for you to retrieve your partially filled application. Let's say you have started filling your application and you had to stop in between. This will be on your ID in order to retrieve that partially filled application. So I recommend you to note it down somewhere. Let's go with the security question. Let's select, okay, in what city or town your first job was? Toronto. Continue. Now from here on, our DS-160 application starts. As you can see on the left hand side, we have all the information which we need to fill. These are the tabs which we need to fill. We have a section for personal information, our travel information, our travel companions. So if you are traveling alone, you don't need to fill these sections, but if you are traveling as part of a group, or let's say you're traveling with your spouse and your children, so you need to fill their information as well, your previous travel history, your address, and all these things. So let's start one by one. Let's go with personal information. Surname, I'm just assuming a made up name. Given name, okay. Your full name in your native alphabet. Let's say your mother tongue is Hindi, Urdu, or French. You can do that and uh, paste your name over here. For this, you can just go to Google Translate and then translate this name and then enter here. For this purpose, I'm just assuming that I don't have any I'm just saying that I don't have any native alphabetical name, so I'll just take it as does not apply. Now, have you ever been used other names? In this case, it would be no. But let's say in your earlier childhood, or in some cases, people change their names, or if they are having spelling mistakes in their names, they correct it. So you can press S and then add those. Now, do you have a telecode that represent your name? I'm not sure which country does this, but for most of people, or for most of the cases, that would be no. Male, select your marital status. Let's assume this is married, because most of the people, they would like to apply this visa with their spouse and their children. So here I'll just select married. In this case, it will show you the additional information you need to fill. So it will be helpful for even single people and then married people as well. Now let's go with date of birth. 1 Jan, let's say 1980. City of birth, let's say Hyderabad. State or province, Telangana, and then select your country. This is pretty standard, so you can save this and then continue with your application. Next, to personal information. Here, your nationality, in my case it's India. Have you ever been held any other nationality apart from what you are holding? For India, generally Indian government doesn't allow dual citizenship, so it's no. Let's say if you are from Pakistan and you have two passport, let's say European passport and then Pakistani passport. In that case, you would say yes and then fill the required forms. Are you a permanent resident of a country other than your country? So this is a critical question. Let's say you are applying for this visa and you are in Canada and you are on a permanent resident and you are a permanent resident here. So in this case, this would be yes. And if you are on work permit or on student visa, then this would be no. I hope this clarifies. So let's say you are a permanent resident, you click yes and then select the country. Be mindful that most of the people who are working in Gulf, they have their residency over there, which is a visa for them to work there. But that residency visa generally does not state that you are a permanent resident of that country. It's just a work visa. So if you are a resident or a permanent resident of a country in a Middle East, I suggest you to go with answer no, because US government generally does not recognize those work visas as a permanent residence of you being there. So for this case, for most of the people, it would be no. So I'll go with no. Your national identification number. See, national identification number for Indians is just Aadhaar card, or you can go with your passport number as well. Here, let's enter our Aadhaar card number. Okay, US social security number, this does not apply to anyone. US tax ID number, no, it does not apply. Save and then continue with the application. Next, to travel. Now, what is the purpose of your trip to your US? So most of the people, they apply B1 B2 visa. That would be business and pleasure. And DS-160 form is also filled by students or people who are applying for H1. So in this case, I'm just showing for people who are looking to apply for visitor visa, that is B1 B2 visa. So purpose of our trip would be B, and then specify what type of purpose. For B1 it is designated as business and B2 as tourism. I'll just select standard B1 B2 visa. Here, have you made any specific travel plans? So this would be your personal preference. If you have made any specific travel plans, let's say that you wanted to visit US, because your friend is getting married or your cousin is getting married, or some people invite their parents for their graduation ceremony. So in that case, though, if those people are filling their application forms, they can say yes and then specify those dates. In this case, I'm going to go with no, because it doesn't change any options over there. And now next would be who is paying for your trip. So you can select it as per your convenience or as per your requirement. Here I'll just select self. See, as you can see, what happened right here is that if you take long time to fill your application, this application generally glitches out, and then uh, it completely, you need to retrieve your application again. So in order for me to retrieve the application, I wanted to show this at the end of the video, but let's go ahead. Retrieve our application. Let's select the region from where I am applying, Toronto. Okay, SESB8. Retrieve an application. Enter the application number right now. Let's go ahead and retrieve our application. It's asking for our surname 1980. So by we can retrieve our application. Next, our travel information. This would be our B1 B2 visa. Have you made any specific travel plans? No. And it is asking for intended date of travel. You can, this is pretty standard. You can select as per your requirement. Length of stay, I would recommend you specify it as 3 weeks or more. I mean, it depends on the person to person, case by case scenario, but generally it is recommended that you keep the number within weeks. Address XYZ and then XYZ city, state Alabama, code. This you need to fill wherever you are going to stay. Let's say you have booked an Airbnb or you're going to stay at your son's place or your friend's place. Get the information from them and then you can fill it out. Who is paying for the trip? Self. Save our application. Next, travel companions. Are there any persons traveling with you? Let's say your spouse or someone, your children are traveling with you. You need to select it as S. Are you traveling as a part of group or organization? This question is generally for people who are visiting as a part of group. Let's say some you're going as part of as a tourist group, or someone has sponsored you, to tour the country. In that case, you need to select it as a group or an organization. Let's say a group of people, I mean, let's say as a family you are going, then you need to select it as no. Enter the persons you are traveling with. XYZ. You need to mention the details of all the persons. Let's say you're going with your wife and then two or one of your children. You need to mention all their names here. Just press save. Now, your previous history to US. Have you ever been to US? So if you had an US visa or any kind of visa in past, that would be helpful. For most of the case, it would be no. So I'll just select no. Have you ever been issued a US visa? If it's yes, you can just enter S and it'll ask the details of your visa, when it was issued and what happened and all that. So let's say that if you had a visa, then you know already how you can fill the DS-160 form. So for this case, I'll assume it as a no. Have you ever been refused a US visa? So in most of the cases, I believe it would be yes or no. Let's say if it's yes, it'll ask for an explanation on what happened. So here I'll just, let's say you have a visa rejection of B1 B2 visa. I'll just suggest that I write an explanation saying that I have applied for B1/B2 visa during January of 2015 at Chennai Consulate, and it was rejected. So you just need to, you just need to give a brief description on what happened when you applied that visa. In most of the cases, if your visa was refused or rejected, you would not know the reason why it was refused. So you just need to say what type of visa you have applied, when you have applied, and where you have applied, and what was the outcome. So I believe this would be suffice if you are having refusal in the past. Have you ever filed an immigrant petition or so and so? In most of the cases, it would be no. Save. Okay, B1 B2, save, and continue with the application. From here on out, it would be your standard, your home address, XYZ state, XYZ city, and all that. Country, this would be same. Is your mailing address same as your home address? That would be yes. Your primary phone number, secondary or work phone number, if you have any, you can mention that. Have you ever been on any other phone numbers in the last 4 years or 5 years? No. Your email address. Okay, you can fill your email address. Have you ever been used any email address? So this is case by case specific. You can select it as per your scenario. Do you have any social media presence? If you want, you can disclose that, but in general, I'll just leave it as it is. This would be no. Save and continue. Hmm. Now, next would be your passport details. What type of passport do you have? Most people have regular passports. X1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some passport number. Passport book number. Asian countries does not have this passport book number, so does not apply. Country of issue would be India. Where it was issued, and province or territory when it was issued. These are just basic stuff. Have you ever lost a passport or it has been stolen? So it's pretty basic. You can say yes and enter all the details of what happened. And most of the case it would be no. So I'll go with no. Save. Continue. Now your US contact details. Who are you going to meet in US or as such? So some random name over there. Organization does not require. What is the relationship? You can select if it's your friend, if it's your cousin, or if it's your relative, and as such. Let's go with relative. His details, where he is staying. Discontinue and save. Next up would be your family information. So these are basic details. I'll skip this. You can fill this according to you, according to your case. I've just filled it out randomly. Now here's an interesting question. Do you have any immediate relatives, not including your parents, in your United States? Let's say your son is studying in US. So in that case, it would be yes. You'll give the details, what's their name and what's their status. What's your relationship, your child or your sibling, I mean your brother or sister or anyone, and what is your relative status. Let's say he is on work permit, or he is studying there, or he is on OPT, then it would be non-immigrant visa. Only and only if he is holding a green card or he is a citizen of US, then only you can select US citizen or legal permanent resident. Legal permanent resident means that he is a green card holder in US. Save. Now it will ask for your spouse details. So all these are basic informations and can be filled out without any help. I'll just save and then continue with our application. Here comes your work experience details or your work details. What's your primary occupation? Uh, you can, let's say you're a computer science engineer, you can select that. Let's say, or you're doing a business, you can select that. These are all your standard details. You don't need my expertise to fill this out. All standard details. So I'll just enter some random information and then you can fill it out. Here you can enter your duties and responsibilities and what are there for your business. Now this section would be to declare your previous work experience or your education qualification and all that. Were you previously employed before? In my case, I have entered my work experience from 2000. So in this case it would be no. But if it's S for you, you need to enter all those details. And It's the same with your educational qualification as well. You need to enter your basic education details. It is recommended to enter after your secondary school. Let's say after your 12th, I recommend you to enter all your details, your degree or your masters, all these details here. Next, these are some basic informations you're being asked. uh, do you belong to any tribe or no? uh, your language, Hindi. And if you want to add your multiple language, let's say you know Urdu or Telugu or Malayalam, you can add all those here. Have you ever been traveled to any other foreign countries within the last 5 years? If it's yes for you, enter all those details. In most cases it would be no, or let's keep it yes and then select all those details. If you want to add something, you can add another country which you have visited as well. Have you ever been belong to or work with any professional organization? No. No. Have you ever been served with military? Case specific question again. Let's say in this case it's no. Have you ever been in a violence or any guerrilla group member? No. Now let's go with our security and background questions. Here, I recommend you to carefully read all these questions and answer it for yourself. In most cases, it would be no. Here, I would recommend you to read each and every question and declare whatever is there truthfully, because whatever the details you are filling out in the DS-160 form, it stays there forever. Let's say you have, your visa is refused now, and then you are applying for a visa after 5 or 10 years. Still, US government can track your old DS-160 form, and then if there is any conflict or if there is any misinformation, they can ask you about that. So I'd be very careful when I am filling all these details in this form. Now we are almost done. It's asking for the photograph. Once you upload the photograph, everything is done. Upload your photo. Let's choose a file. And then upload the selected photo. You have a photo cropping tool here as well. If it's not as per the standards, or if you want to crop the photo as per this requirement, you can do that over here. As you can see, we have got a pop-up saying that photo has passed the quality standards, and we can use this photo to continue with this photo. Now review. We can review all the application. I would recommend for you to print this application if you have a printer, or just save it in the PDF format for your future reference if you want to see what you have filled and all that. Now once everything is done, you can just submit the application. Review all these details category wise. And then you can just sign and submit. These are generic questions. Now enter your passport number, X123456 KKVU. Now sign and submit it. So you have successfully submitted your DS-160 form. This is your application number, and this are all the details which you have filled. You can email this confirmation. You'll get it to the email address which you have filled earlier in the application form. And I would also recommend to print the application and as well as the confirmation page and save it in the PDF format. These are required when you are going to the consulate for your visa interview. That's it for this video, guys. I had to rush just to make this video shorter, because if I keep on explaining every single detail, this would go over 40 minutes. So I had to rush and then cut short in some areas. As usual, I hope this video was helpful to someone. Thank you very much for watching. Do let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions. I would very much happy to help you out. and I would appreciate if you can hit that subscribe button and then hit that notification icon to get notified whenever I upload new videos. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care.